name is Rhonda Laurie, and I'm a vocal jazz musician. I sing songs from the Great American Songbook, and that includes basically popular songs. I grew up in New York, in Queens. I grew up in a very musical household, and my grandfather, my mother's father, he was a trumpet teacher and a band leader. And one of his gigs was a summer gig where he stayed all summer long at this hotel in the Catskill Mountains called the Plaza Hotel. And I just loved my grandfather and thought he was the coolest guy in the world. And I also loved the kind of music that he played, and we played that kind of music around the house. And it was, you know, big band, swing, and Broadway type music, and popular song, and I should say old standards. And once in a while he'd bring me up on stage and I would sing as well. I listened a lot to Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan and Carmen McRae. I also really loved Irene Kral and listened a lot to her. Later on, as I kept growing, I listened to Sheila Jordan and Jake Clayton and people who are actually still alive, who are practicing the art of vocal jazz. I ended up taking some voice lessons just to explore and see if it was worth me spending any time on it, and I was really encouraged to continue with it. And I worked with, I got a vocal coach in New York, and I started doing cabaret shows, which a lot of people don't understand what cabaret is. It's really just singing songs in an intimate setting that tell stories. So it could be any genre of music that you're singing. I mostly chose more contemporary, popular songs with some standards in there. You could take a hard rock song and slow it down and tell a story. Anything that you connect with, and you can connect your story that you're trying to tell and connect with the audience. That's basically a cabaret. But then I found that I wanted to play with the songs more and do my own thing with it, and that's when me and my coach kind of had to part ways, because he was strictly cabaret and doing more of the more Broadway type coaching, and I really wanted to work with somebody who could help me grow and be able to do that. And that's when I realized it was jazz that I was moving towards. Then I worked a little bit with somebody who specialized in jazz, and he had a little combo, and I was able to sing at this place in Soho where he worked, and that was great, and I really loved it, and that was really the beginning of me pursuing jazz. But when I thought about it, it was all the songs that I knew already, because between all the Broadway musicals that I had seen or been in, and not on Broadway, but in camp and at school, and all of the soundtracks that I listened to, and all of the movies that I watched, and again stuff my grandfather played and listened to, I knew so many standards that it was like a natural fit. It was just really natural for me to arrive at singing the Great American Popular Songbook. I moved here when I was in my early 20s. So I grew up in New York. I went to college in upstate New York, and then moved to Manhattan, lived there a while, moved to Brooklyn, lived there a while, and then met my husband and moved to Minnesota. I had vocal jazz workshops with Mark Murphy, Katie Margolis, Madeline Eastman, Sheila Jordan, and it was amazing. And not to mention the local talent that we also had workshops with, including Bruce Henry, who's amazing. I felt like I got a really good introduction to jazz and jazz vocals, and we have some of the greatest jazz musicians here in town, and we have a legacy of having really amazing people playing here and living here and making their lives here. I have a new CD coming out with a Gypsy jazz trio that I worked with here in Minneapolis, and it includes Philipsek on guitar, and he plays manouche guitar, which is the same type of guitar that Django Reinhardt played, and then Gary Schulte on violin, and Jeff Brisky on upright bass. And it has that gypsy swing feel, so it's lively and jazzy at the same time. I have this this tendency to try and find more obscure tunes that resonate with me, that maybe say something a little different than other songs say. So I had included in this CD is this cute little number called Hot Toddy, and it's just a fun little tune about what a nice thing a nice hot toddy could be, especially in the winter, which we know very well here in Minnesota. One of my favorite all-time tunes is on that, and it's called No Moon at All. And it's sort of a romantic number. So it's funny because I did have one person say to me after I sang it once, well, it feels as though there really was a moon up there. Because it is kind of a romantic tune, but it's saying, you know, isn't it funny that all this has happened and there's no moon at all. So I kind of liked it because it was a little bit different and the message was different and the feel of it was different, and I was able to really make that one my own and had some fun with it. I really pride myself in my song selection, and I would say that I come to my songs very honestly. My songs that I choose have to really resonate with me in a deep emotional way, and even if it's just to have fun, but they definitely, I definitely dig the songs that I pick, and I really work very hard to find unique and interesting and beautiful songs.
Lightning bugs have dimmed their light.